We got a great guest coming up.
We do. Former JF star, former Virginia Tech star, guy who had a really, really good career in the NFL. Jake Grove joins us here on the Sportsline. Hi, Jake. How are you?
How are you guys?
We're great, man. We're great. I'm just sitting here hanging out next to Dennis Carter every night. How much better could it be?
I mean, what could be better than that?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Hey, Jake, how you doing? I talked to you on the phone last night, setting up the interview for today, and you had been out fishing. I know you said you were going fishing again today. Did you have any luck? What'd you catch today?
Well, it was a bunch of thunderstorms and saw a water spout, which was kind of a small tornado on the water, and so I turned around and came back in today. I wasn't ready to risk that.
Smart man. Yep.
Yeah.
But you were saying yesterday was a very good day for you.
Yeah, yesterday was great. Caught some kingfish and did some bottom fishing, caught some snapper and sea bass. It was good. Had a really good day.
Let me brag on you a little bit here, Jake. Of course, you won the Remington Trophy, Best Center in college football back in 2003. You were a unanimous All-American that year, drafted in 2004 by the Oakland Raiders. I guess you played 5 years with the Raiders and then a season with the Miami Dolphins. When you look back over your career, what stands out the most? Is it your college career? Is it your NFL career? What are you most proud of when you look back?
You know, I was very blessed. I had a great college career. I had a good NFL career. You know, I think the thing I'd be most proud of in Oakland, we had some really tough situations. I think I had a new coach every year. And then to be able to overcome some of those challenges and, put everything together, and then you get a nice second contract with the Dolphins and then ended up getting hurt. Didn't get to play that out. But I think, overcoming some of the challenges that I did in Oakland, to earn that second contract is probably what I'm most proud of.
Jake, talk a little bit about the difficulty of trying to deal with new coaches or, new coordinators, because we hear that quite a bit. And, in a lot of cases, it's young quarterbacks who get drafted to not great teams. And then there's a change, in the coaching staff. And, you obviously work very closely with quarterbacks. I mean, talk a little bit about how difficult it is and what the adjustments are and why it's so difficult to adapt to a new coach or a new system.
I think the best way I could put it is it's just hard to get good at something if you only do it for 1 year at a time. If you only have one season to really get good at it, the NFL is so competitive, and the teams that you see have success, they do the same thing every year. I mean, you look at the Patriots. The consistency that they have, which I think is kind of the model for all NFL teams. But having to learn even just new terminology every year, and I think we had a new quarterback about every year that I was in the NFL with the Raiders. It just takes you a while to get at something, and the longer you're in the same system, the better off you're going to be. And unfortunately, I think I only had one season where I had back-to-back offensive coordinators.
Jake, right now there's so much uncertainty as far as the world and football, college, NFL as well. When you look at players that have decided to opt out because of what we're going through with the virus now, if you were still playing college football, how uncertain would you be about playing around, all these different players and playing in front of fans? How worried would you be playing in the state of affairs that we have today?
Well, it's certainly an interesting time right now. I think the best way I could say that would be, if I wasn't going to play, am I going to stay inside my house for all fall and until next year? And so I obviously I would play, and you got to put your worries aside, I mean, we all may get this. They may not come up with a vaccine. We may maybe something we have to live with. So, I would, I think colleges should, continue business as usual. But that's me. I just think you got to block it out. It's another challenge and something you got to overcome.
And you really, coaches and players have to prepare at this point as if they're going to play. We were talking with Hugh Freeze the other night, and he's just like, look, I can't even worry about it. I just have to go out there, and until someone tells me there's no season, I just have to prepare like we're going to play. And that's really the mindset you need to have as a player too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's got a job to do, especially in the NFL. You still got to go to work and do your job. If you don't, I promise you there are 100 guys that want that job, and they will do it. So, it's just another distraction, and I get it. It can be a big distraction. It's certainly getting played up in the media big time and being politicized. But at the end of the day, if you're an NFL player, you've been hired to do a job, and you have to do that job to the best of your ability.
Jake, you got to play at Virginia Tech for the legend, Hall of Fame coach Frank Beamer. What makes Coach Beamer so special in your mind?
I think it's just the little things that he does, the way he treated his players. When I was there, everybody used to say, there was a family atmosphere at Virginia Tech. Well, I don't even know exactly what that ever meant, but I do know that if you, Coach Beamer was kind of like talking to your dad. There were times when he would get on you, big time, and he would be upset with you about something that you did, on the field, off the field, in the classroom. And then there were other times when things are good, man, he was the first guy, to congratulate you. He was in your corner. I think the biggest thing, you knew that he wanted what was best for you, on the field, off the field, and in the classroom. And that, the older I get, the more special that is to me, because I'm not sure that a lot of people involved with college football have the athlete's best interest at heart. And I believe he certainly did.
Jake Grove joining us here on the Sportsline. And, Jake, obviously a great career at Virginia Tech and, Jefferson Forest as well. And I know after your playing days in the NFL, you kind of rejoined your former coach, Bob Christmas, and did some coaching over at JF. How'd you like that?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved working with young people. Loved working with Coach Christmas. He's a guy that's, been involved with high school football for his whole life, 50 years, I think. And there is nothing that you can throw at him that he hasn't seen. And I just enjoyed working with him. Obviously, somebody that I respected as a player, and then to have a different role with him was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed it.
Jake, speaking of Coach Christmas, we're actually going to have him on the show a few minutes after you're done. Is there anything you'd like to pass along to Coach Christmas, or any story that you'd like to share with us on Coach Christmas? Because I know he coached you in high school for a few years, and you have coached with him on the sidelines. Anything we ought to know about Coach Christmas?
I wish I had something juicy for you. The thing about Coach, what you see is what you get. He's kind of the same everywhere he goes. A strong Christian guy that, really, he reminds me a lot of Coach Beamer in a lot of ways. He wants what's best for his players. I remember at his introductory press conference or meeting that we had with the parents. Him saying, "Look, I'm here for your son in the good times and the bad, and I hope there's a lot more good. But if there's something bad, I'll go through that with him too." And I saw that firsthand as a player. It's unbelievable what a high school coach, what they have to, what they do for a living. I mean, they are the general manager, the equipment manager, the head coach, the head of the booster club. I mean, they wear so many different hats, and he wears so many different hats so well. He's just a guy I really, really respect.
And you really do that for the love of the game and the love of, the kids, really, right? I mean, you want to be there. You want to be there for them because, high school football coaches, for the most part, aren't getting rich. And, but they do it because they love it and they have a passion for it.
Well, there are times when, people are critical of high school coaches and, whether it's wins or losses or whatever the issue is, but anybody that's involved with any high school sport, whatever it is, the only reason they can do it is because they care about kids and they love the game, because there's no money in it for anybody. The time that we put in at Jefferson Forest, it's really astounding. But it was fun. Coach Christmas was fun to be around. And I really enjoyed kind of giving back to the community and working with kids. A lot of the kids I still stay in contact with, made some good friends. The first thing I did when we after the banquet, it was no more Coach Grove. It's just Jake now. Because you work with those kids and you spend more time with them than they probably spend with their parents, and so you do get close to them. And a lot of those kids I still talk to, weekly or monthly, and so that's something I take a lot of pride in as well.
Jake, could you see yourself doing that again down the road?
I'd like to if the right opportunity presented itself. It is a lot of time, and I kind of felt bad in a way. I'm spending more time with those kids than I was with my kids. So maybe when my kids get a little bit older, it might be something that I could come back to doing.
Hey, Jake, for the fans who followed you closely when you played for the Hokies, I wanted to ask you this. Back when you were playing on the Virginia Tech team, who talked the most smack? who was the guy in the locker room, on the field, that you knew was going to be talking all game long?
I played with some experts at that, but I think Roniel Whitaker takes the cake. And he's a great guy. I love him to death. But he definitely has a gift of gab.
And I've heard some say that you also could talk a little smack on the offensive line.
So I just tried to have fun every day and discourage defensive linemen from playing hard against me.
It's just the words, the choice of words that make the difference, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Jake. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us on the Sportsline, and we're going to hear from your old coach, Bob Christmas, here in just a couple of minutes. So thanks again for joining us, Jake.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you guys.
Jake, thank you, man. Jake Grove.
Absolutely, Rich. Take care.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch if that's cool with you. Would love to do it again.
Anytime, man. Let me know.
Jake Grove joining us here on the Sportsline.
Superstar at Virginia Tech, no doubt about it. Unanimous All-American, won the Remington Trophy. He was a real deal.
He's off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't want to embarrass him with this. I asked one of the worst questions that I've ever asked any guest of Jake Grove.
And what was that?
He was a center, right?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I did. I really did. I went there. This was so long ago.
He did play some other positions on the offensive line, but I guess his best position was center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he handle?
Not really. He handled it really well. I don't think he was a big fan of the question. And, I think the way he answered it was, well, something along the lines of, thanks, Rich. Now whenever someone asks me what's the stupidest question I've ever got, I've got an easy answer. But it was something along the lines of, so which quarterback Which quarterback had the softest hands? And he just looked at me like, "What the hell's the matter with you?"
I'm sure.
Like, dude,
I'm
if you
sure he
only
had
knew.
fun with that, though.
If you only knew.
That's a funny question.
Like I said, he said, "Well, now I've got an answer. If someone ever asks me, what's the stupidest question you've ever got?"